Hey y'all, it's me again, Joey.
Well, ready to let them loose?
Yep, that's it. Let's see if they make us run.
Oh,
Probably so.
yeah, that one tried to get after him, but other than that, what can you expect? I mean, can you blame him? Oh yeah, they're getting after us now. Go, Joey, go!
Hey man!
Hey man, buddy. I'm gonna get in the truck. You gotta go back and get your camera.
But also, just get as many as you can off the one next to it. Get out.
You gotta move forward.
Do that side again. Y'all ready? Let's get started. There y'all are. Can y'all hear me?
Yep. We
Yes,
can
sir.
hear you.
Hey, we made it. I wasn't even thinking about live tonight. Didn't even realize what time it was. I was just sitting there watching the news. How y'all doing?
We're doing wonderful. Couldn't have it any better.
Yeah. Got a few already coming on. How
I'm
about you,
doing better
Mr.
than that.
JW?
Doing better than that. Hey, Southern Russell, how you doing, buddy?
Are y'all as tired as I am?
Yes,
No.
sir.
Not me. I'm
Yes.
ripping and roaring.
Let's see. Who we
Mostly
got
roaring.
over here? M and J.
That's a new
I
one
can't
on
read
there.
those things. Icy Mountain, Homesteading Avenger, Russell Adman, J&D's Bees and Honey, Philip Morris, there he is, Jack and Danae, Vincent Stable,
Hey, Brad.
Cajun Homestead, Brad,
That's what we missed Brad. We didn't.
Hallelujah Bee Farms.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, y'all
Brad.
didn't see him?
No, we didn't. I didn't see him. So I didn't get a picture with him. He must have been hiding. Brad, were you hiding somewhere?
Hiding behind me, you couldn't see him.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Couldn't see around him.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, I put that link somewhere. I'm going to go ahead and try to find it, pin it.
There it
Oh.
is.
Get that out of there.
JW, how much snow did you get at your place?
6, 7 inches.
Yeah. Where I'm at here, not far off from that.
Yeah.
I'd say probably a 2, maybe 3 inches of sleet, and then snow on top of it right at my place. So I got about, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 inches. And then when I go just a little bit north, just on the other side, barely on the other north on the Missouri River there, I was pushing just shy of 13 inches of snow over there on that lot, and almost no sleet.
I seen your post or heard you tell someone that, I think. It was more snow. You know, that snow line always runs right up 70, seems to me like.
Mhm.
Yep.
As it comes out down there by y'all there in St. Louis, it dangles more north, and we're on the usually catches. We didn't get any. It spits a little sleet for maybe 10 or 15 minutes, but everything come here as snow, thank goodness. So we didn't. You get 20 miles south, they got ice. It starts and it goes clear down into Kentucky. The ice does. There's some folks down around southern part of the state, down towards Marion and Carbondale in that area.
Mhm.
Down through there that's still out of power.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't get all that freezing rain, because we would have been without power as well ourselves. So thankful that didn't hit on our neck of the woods.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, that sleep at this point, a couple days, well, a day and a half out or whatever, that stuff's down on the ground like a rock. It ain't. It's a solid piece. It's not coming up.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, the boys aren't even back yet. I sent them out this afternoon to finish up some small stuff, and they're out there chipping away at it, earning their money for sure today. We last night after I got back in, Melissa and I had a board meeting for the Missouri State, so I had the boys out there doing some cleaning up some stuff and hitting a couple last bit of the commercial buildings that were closed the day before. So we had a little bit more time on those, and came back, and that truck doesn't have reverse gear in it anymore. So got the shop to look at it, and apparently that transmission's coming out of that truck. So that one's going to hurt.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the name of the game.
That'll take all that savings you made down there at Nobby.
Yeah. and some. Yeah.
George, okay? When did you
Do
leave?
I?
When did you leave Louisville? Did you make it home okay? One shot?
We left right after around 1 o'clock, maybe 1ish,
On Saturday.
and on Saturday,
Yep.
and we decided to get a motel room just south of Birmingham, somewhere down that way. Rested a little bit and drove on in the next day. We're about halfway when we stopped.
Yeah.
And that's just as tiring as me if I'd have drove all the way through.
Yeah.
Just,
Hey, you don't rest, or I don't on a
yeah.
on the bed and stuff like that anyway. So I might as well go on. You can stay awake. Todd, you missed a good show out there. You better get in here so we can tell you all about it.
Very third. You don't know I didn't take one picture?
You didn't take any pictures?
I didn't take one picture.
I didn't take very many.
That was like
I videoed that long line. It was longer than last year's.
Mm-hmm. It sure was.
I
seen
videoed
that.
it.
what to get in?
Yeah.
Oh, we
Wait.
didn't have to wait in that line because we entered the honey show.
Yeah.
I waited about 2:30 to show up, so I didn't have to wait in line either. I walked right in.
Fashionably late.
I wish I would have actually videoed the line coming in. It didn't take long at all.
It goes by. So the worst part is waiting for them to open the doors. Once they open those doors, that line just feeds in like nothing.
I'm sitting there looking for my name tag. I keep starting over. I get to the R's and start reading through. I can't find it. I go back again. I says, anybody see Rawls? And a couple people looked, and somebody said, I think Phillips got it. Hey.
Saturday, we were rushing around like mad, just trying to pick up the rest of our pre-orders.
No kidding. Melissa ordered stuff that she thought was going to fit into a Ford Explorer. Had to go into an F-150 and a Ford Explorer. Come on now. This woman doesn't know logistics well enough to be doing that.
No. Somebody insisted that my car was going to be big enough to bring home everything that we had.
And she was wrong.
No.
That's what the deal is.
He was wrong.
I had told you folks that I had plenty of room if you wanted to go.
Well, we have plenty of people that live not too far away that brought it home for us.
Yeah, you'd have been another option for me. Fill up that pickup truck of yours. I just didn't want to drive my truck out there. You know, that they don't get good gas mileage, and they're just work trucks. So
good thing you didn't, because that's the one that the transmission went out on.
Yeah, but it was probably because of the snow and ice. I mean, I'll tell you, that's some heavy moving trying to get all that 3 inch sleet up and stuff. That's hard on those things. It really is. So anyway.
Let's see. Somebody asked a question up here. Let's see here. Where was it? Tom, did you buy anything from Hilco? at Kentucky.
Sure did, actually. I heard.
We got to keep ourselves in good standing with John.
Well, listen, Jeff, here's the deal, bud. Really, Melissa's the one spending all the money, okay? So it's not, you should be asking the question, Melissa, did you spend it from Hillcoat in Kentucky? The answer to that would be yes, she did. She bought another extractor. She bought
Warming cabinet.
a warming cabinet or warming/cooler cabinet.
Some ApiGuard.
We bought all of our ApiGuard treatments, bought a few buckets of the ApiGuard from them.
And some fittings.
And I got a couple of the fittings that will bolt onto his tank to adapt, like a shutoff that you can adapt to a hose fitting. So Melissa and I, we bottle straight with the speed filler right out of the creaming machine. So I got a fitting to adapt to that, which will work out very nicely.
Hey, Keith.
And then we also ordered Mark Miller's extractor.
We ordered Mark Miller's extractor. So Mark, if you're on here,
Yes.
I don't know if I've seen your name on here.
He's on here.
Oh, you're on here? Mark, your extractor is ordered and it will be at the February 7th, 8th Eastern Missouri Beekeepers meeting conference. So we just got off the board meeting with that whole deal. And that was one of our main topics was our event. So tell you what, this thing is filling up quick, fellas and ladies. Okay. And if you all want to get
Todd will be there.
Todd,
Brian.
that is all. I'm super excited. The more the merrier. I mean, it's not going to get any better. I got JW there, Todd.
I heard JW is going
Brian.
to dance and sign autographs.
I knew he was signing autographs already. That I knew.
I think he's dancing too.
He's dancing.
I think so.
I will buy tickets to that.
Yeah. JW's going to dance and sign autographs.
It looks like I missed a pretty good party.
Huh?
Hey, Don. Yeah, I enjoyed our visit, Don. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, it was. I really
saw
enjoyed
you,
that.
You were with Brian Lee.
Yeah, we were sitting at the table eating lunch together. I come up on you all and you allowed me to sit down with you and break some bread. It wasn't good bread from there, but you know what? It helped to fill the stomach a little bit. That wasn't the best meal JW and I ever had, was it?
Let's don't go there again.
Oh boy.
Where was that?
Oh no. I was JW. I'm referring to when we were sitting down with Don Bearden. Brian Lee was there
At lunch.
at lunch at the
Expo.
thing. That,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what,
Oh, yeah.
that food was not the best I ever had.
That was just food to fill your belly.
That's all it was.
That $18 piece of catfish was pretty good.
Oh, was it? I didn't have the catfish.
Yeah, I had the catfish.
He had a white brat.
Yeah, when I got a brat, I seen they had sauerkraut. I'm like, sign me up. When I got it, I'm like, yeah, this doesn't look good because they boiled it. You cannot boil a brat. That's not how you eat a brat. You have to have it grilled on a barbecue. You got to have that black seasoning on there, and then you got to have those grill marks on it. And then you actually have to take sauerkraut and put that on the grill too, caramelize it a little bit, and then throw that on there. Put some mustard, and that's how you eat a brat.
Yeah, Joey had, I don't know, was you still there when they came up, Joey? Well, Joey was sitting there at the
Yeah.
same table.
Yeah, we sit down till they got their stuff around the table.
Joey Pete's. Yeah.
And
Soon
that
as he-
stuff I had was nasty. I don't know. My French fries weren't done. My fish wasn't done.
Yeah.
See,
Man,
that just means that Joey has to come too.
no, hold on. You clicked on the wrong
Oh,
one.
no, I didn't.
Oh.
Read that.
Hey,
It means Joey's
well,
got to come up too, and they both can dance
Yes.
and sign autographs.
I told Joey he has to be up here. I already told him that.
I will stomp in the JW shuffle. get Sawmill Charlie, and we will have a party.
Listen, my appreciation for my pal JW here went up by a whole new level. It really did. Listen, he's going to hate on this for a minute, but I pray that I am as vibrant and witty and ornery as what he is when I'm his age. I pray that I'm half the man he is. He's a hoot, though. If y'all haven't hung out with him, come to Eastern Missouri. You get to hang out with him. He might even sign an autograph for you.
Oh man, they're landing on tonight, aren't they, Joe?
Yeah.
Racking my belt.
Oh my word! Oh,
That might be a good idea. Get you a little boudin shop up there.
I don't know if they'd let you do it in there.
Yep.
They need some better food.
No kidding, right?
You people just gonna have to.
Yeah.
You old people, when you're young, you can do things like this.
I get a head start on Henry.
You old people too old for that crap. People be talking about you, say you're crazy.
That's a good one.
So Joey, does that mean you watched my video that I posted?
Yeah,
You saw JW's dance moves?
I did.
Whoopie doo.
First thing I thought of was bourbon honey. I don't know.
See, all you have to do is look under our name here under the chat. You can see what we're part of now. We joined up.
Did he surprise y'all when he jumped up like that?
Did he surprise me? Listen, if I'm going to be honest with you just for 1 minute here, well, hopefully I'm honest with you all the time, right? But listen, I'm going to tell you right now, they tried getting me to tell them that it was JW's birthday, and I said, no, I'm not going to do it.
Which his birthday's actually tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. Yeah. And I said, I'm not going to do it. I'm like, he's going to kill me. And I'm like, literally probably kill me and bury me in the farm. I'm not going to do it. And then Melissa did it. And I'm like, this is not going to be good. I'm like, he's never going to speak to me again. Right. And then when he popped up, I thought I'm not ready to get down on my knees and start praying to my Lord and Savior, because I thought he was going to murder me right there and then drag me outside. But
then he started dancing, and it was amazing.
The best.
It was the best.
He made JW. You made my night. Okay.
I think he made everybody in the restaurant that was left tonight.
I loved it.
The greatest thing ever.
I absolutely loved it.
You guys just thought the old man couldn't do that kind of crap, didn't you? Huh?
Oh man, yeah, that was priceless. Priceless.
Get in there and help me, Todd. They're picking on me.
Well, never mind. I won't say a word. I'll be a witness. That's all I'll do, JW. I'll just be a witness. I'm sure they started it, and I'm sure shit, but I'm just gonna stay on the sidelines.
Hey, it's okay. We're all friends here. You know, we're all good. We're all friends. It was really a great time, though.
Yeah, I want everybody out there to know that was there that I didn't see that. I'm sorry I missed you, and I had a great time.
Who was? Michelle. She made you something? Oh yeah, that was nice of her. Oh, hey, how cool is that?
What's for dinner?
We got some cookies. We got a whole thing full of cookies. One of the customers gave the boys.
Oh wow, that's a lot of cookies.
That is. We don't normally do driveways, but I had a handful of really good customers call me, and I said, well, I'll break my own rule just for tonight. And apparently, she was really appreciative.
Yeah, mine in, bro.
The boys went out there and took care of them. Good job, fellas.
Oh.
Hey, you Colorado guys, John and Brian. I guess you all made it home fine. Good shape.
I looked at it with the door open.
I see Jeff is in here from Manabees. Jeff, did y'all go to the Expo?
Jeff earlier said something about he'd seen us at Hilco booth. I thought somebody said that.
Yeah, I appreciated everybody that I had not met before came up and said hello. That was a treat for us. It was just I would say the best time that Melissa and I had down there would have been just meeting everybody face to face and just having the conversations with everyone. It was just it literally was like one big family reunion. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like people you've known you feel like forever. and just such a good time. It really was. That time flew by. I don't know about for Joey, you or JW, what you thought, but I felt like that time just flew by.
It kind of did. I didn't plan on going to any of the talks because I knew I could watch them later.
Mm-hmm.
There was one I wanted to see, and that was the first one that Randy Oliver did.
Mm.
When I thought about going over there, I looked at my phone, and it was already 3:30. He was just finishing up. I said, well, I'll watch that video too.
I know. I hope they get the videos out pretty quick. It seemed like they got them out fairly fast last year.
Yeah, it was about maybe 6 weeks or so.
Yeah, something
7
like
weeks
that.
maybe.
Yeah.
So ECP Honeybee says I got a prison ship from Mr. Ed. Is that not hilarious? He handed a bunch of them out. He signed them. I'm not sure where ours is at.
Downstairs.
I'm not going to go down there and get it, but it's basically you can have one. It kind of holds
JW, have you talked Joey into coming up to Missouri?
Trying.
Yeah, he said he's going to come. He's coming. He'll be there, Todd.
That's about as far as
Oh no, it's not.
Kentucky, isn't it?
About
It'd probably be about 10 hours.
North, straight north, Joey.
Mm-hmm.
Just go ahead over and hit 55 and head her north.
Yep, that's all we did when we went to Slidell. We just got on the highway and went straight down.
I'm betting, Joey, it'd probably be 9 hours for you. And you can bring the travel trailer up, the RV up too. We can find you some good spots to park it.
What does he do?
You 54 south of Jackson, Mississippi, are you, Joey? You have any idea?
What's that?
4 south of Jackson, Mississippi, or you have any idea?
Jackson's probably
It's probably chocolate mint chips.
between 2.5, maybe 3 hours.
Yeah, I can make it Jackson, and I can pull a horse. I used to come down there and pull horse trailers, and I can make it in 7 hours. So,
In that 65 that runs north and south through Missouri and Arkansas.
64 is angles across there, and then
What's the one that goes through Joplin?
that's 64.
Oh, 65. I thought it was 65. Oh, okay.
44, excuse me.
No, 44 goes east-west.
That's what I'm saying. 65 is no, you're right on, and that's north south. Yeah.
65 goes south out of Springfield, goes north south out of Springfield, Missouri.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, wait a minute. What goes south out of Joplin into Arkansas? I thought that was 65.
That should be 55, shouldn't it be?
No, that's.
Oh, hang on.
I'm not sure. That goes down towards. University of Arkansas, whatever where they're at.
Yeah, it goes through Little Rock. It goes through, or no, I don't think it goes through Little Rock. It goes to Fort Smith, though.
Yeah.
Let me see. I used to live in that neck of the woods. I should remember
I
it.
think it's 49.
My phone's saying Jackson's 2 hours.
That's what I say. I used to drive to Jackson, pull a horse trailer. I might drive a little harder than what you do. I drive pretty hard. So.
It's 71 is what I'm thinking.
Mark's saying I don't know where he's coming up with the 540. He ought to know. He runs all those roads all the time over through Missouri. So.
71 kind of it gets into Bentonville and then down through Fayetteville.
Yeah.
And then into Fort Smith.
That's where Sam Walton's from.
Brad said 9 hours with the RV would be a nice fuel bill.
Yeah.
He's a beekeeper. He's loaded.
My fuel mileage gets cut in half when I put that big 36-footer on the back of that truck.
Hey, Joey, what's that truck got? That 7.3 gasser? You got a 6.7?
Yeah, 7.3.
Oh yeah, yeah. It'll be
It
heavy.
pulls it good, but it sucks the gas when you got it back there.
My brother has one with a 7.3, and it's a good truck. It's a good alternate if you don't want a diesel as far as power.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything would probably run you broke.
You know, my 6.7, I run 13 loaded or unloaded. I can pull a 30-foot trailer or run flat empty. And it gets the best gas mileage run about 80.
My son's got that dually, that Ford dually, 350. He gets almost as good pulling his 46-foot camper as I do not pulling anything.
That's what I've got. Is
Those are good pulling trucks.
and a rice burner.
You mean the Toyota?
Yeah.
So Todd, what's new with you?
Not much, just work.
Yeah.
How many? You know, I heard Melissa say something about, maybe it was you too. The tickets are starting to tighten up. How many do you have left going in there for the?
You know what? I don't remember. I think she said tonight. You know what's funny is the experienced class is filling up more than the beginner beekeeping is, which last year I think it was about a split. We're having more experienced side sign up than we are beginner side. It's possible it'll even out because last year we had a big push at the end and it sold out, and then we had to reconfigure the space and then open ticket sales back up and finish off at, I think it was 280 or something like that. But we do have space for 400 this time. Technically 200 and 200, but we could probably maneuver some stuff around if we had to. But we don't want to make it crowded for everyone. We want the experience to be good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. A lot of folks going.
Is the hotel, is that kind of by the arches? Is it? Can you see the arches? Because I think I've stayed there.
No, you can't see the arches from there. I would say.
Okay.
JW, what do you think that is? 10 miles outside of St. Louis City proper?
No, at least that, yes.
Oh, okay. Because I stayed at a Holiday Inn down there or over there or up there several years ago when I was living in Billings, and I had to drive up for a meeting in St. Louis. Yeah, and you could see the arches, right? You could see the arch right outside the hotel, and it was a Holiday Inn. It was a big one.
I told Andrew just to clock that. When we were doing that photo already.
Yeah.
That particular hotel is probably what 20 miles on from him. Arch and Tom probably, but
You think it's that far? I don't think it's that far. I think it's only probably a 12 miles or so. I can tell you though. Let me put my phone back. My phone.
hey, Pastor Larry, how are you folks this evening?
So what town is that Missouri convention in?
You might as well say St. Louis. It's just
Okay.
you won't know that you're not in St. Louis.
Isn't it?
You go there.
Isn't it Sunrise
Sunset Hills.
or Sunset Hills? I was close.
It is 15 miles from the arch to the spot.
Okay.
Yeah. That's pretty close. 5 miles ain't very much difference.
Well, I take that back. I take that back. I just did Sunset Hills Center. It looks like it's probably about 14 miles, but nonetheless, it's give or take, So if you wanted to drive down there and visit downtown, you could.
9 hours and 10 minutes for me.
Yep.
That's nothing if you were James up in Canada. That's just a drive to the store.
That's the next town over.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Miller will be up there. Todd will be there. JW will be there. Brian will be there. If y'all harass Joey enough, he'll be there.
Mark it on. Mark it on.
I'm going if Joey's going.
Joey,
I don't know if you heard that. Did you hear
Yeah,
that?
I heard it.
there he is. Hey, Isaac, mute that real quick.
I got Lee's box.
Go outside
Ah.
and get that box, that brown bee box off the top
Nice.
of that tractor. Bring it in here. So
I didn't know what they were talking about on that live the other day.
Did you all? Hey Joey, did you guys go over to Greg Burns' booth on 9:15 on Saturday morning? Greg requested a bunch of people show up there at 9:15. He was honoring somebody and doing some other stuff too. But Melissa and I didn't make it over there because we were trying to get our honey show stuff and look at the ribbons.
No, I didn't make it over there.
JW, you were there?
Yeah, I was over there.
Did anybody record that?
I didn't get the word.
Or what did he do?
Yeah, JW, what did he do?
Took pictures.
Well, was there somebody special that he was honoring?
Yeah, I forgot who it was already.
No, the bee box.
The one that was extracted.
It's not. Look out there in the crowd, the right side. Should be out there. It's a bee box. Huh? No. It's a 10 frame, just regular bee box. Thanks.
DC, actually, my birthday's tomorrow. I'm starting my beginning of my 82nd
Trip around the sun.
Yeah.
When-
82nd trip around the sun.
When you're out there dancing it up in Louisville that night in the restaurant, that was actually my birthday.
Yeah, I sent you a get.
Yeah.
I think I sent you a get well card.
Yeah. Yeah. You emailed me a cake too.
I never heard of a folding frame before.
He's good at that email and stuff, isn't he, Todd?
He emails everything.
He's quite the guy.
It's cheaper. I don't want to pay postage. Postage is expensive.
That's right.
This one's the box. Well,
Yeah, just about.
I never heard of a folding frame.
Me either.
Three-way folding frame.
Did you all have to see that? I didn't see that guy. I wished I'd that's come up with that guy from Utah that come up with Heavenly Haven or whatever it was. That's come up with that heater to hang on the side of a hive. Did y'all have to see that? I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know
When I fold a frame, it's usually going in the trash. So I don't know what that's about.
I know it's back on the screen, but
you got it upside down too.
well, that's the way it shows up on the screen. I can reverse the camera.
I think I should have upside down on the screen.
Greg made that one backwards.
This was made for a special guest there.
That takes more skill, Todd.
Yeah.
I was so mad that I didn't get a box. I just stole JW's.
you got a box.
I'm just kidding. We got one too. It's downstairs.
I didn't notice if anybody else answered that question or not.
Forgot to grab it before you
No,
left.
I didn't even read it. Let me look at it. Fame whole 3 ways.
Frame. Someone made a custom frame or something, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Never heard of it.
You guys got a bat show or
We got that.
Thanks a lot, Lee.
Huh.
That might be the understatement, Mr. Quimby, on
I knew that was coming. JW, we met a lot of cool people, didn't we? Even at our hotel.
Oh yes, very much so.
You think she would log on to any one of these? We told her to.
Well, you got her. I don't know if I got her. I think I got her email.
Yep,
Okay, you got everybody's email.
you did.
But anybody pull the fire alarm this year?
No,
no.
not where we were. I could have. I was up all night. First night, I didn't sleep worth a dang. It was sorry beds, I thought, and as full as the beds were.
All right, Roy.
See you, Roy.
I didn't sleep very good either.
Hey Keith, good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, it was a pleasure for sure. Him and his wife are really some superb people, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. You're gonna have to update your picture a little bit. It's a little outdated there.
Yeah, sure. It is.
You
That's
like me.
Sounds like everybody, from what I had seen on through Facebook chatter, it seemed like everyone made it home safely and without too much of an event, I guess. I feel like, Joey, what are your thoughts here? I feel like that people on Saturday afternoon were starting to get pretty eager and antsy to get out of the building. Did you feel that same way?
Yeah, it was kind of getting that way. It was thinning out real big when I left around 12-ish, 12:30.
Mom, can you hear me? Or something?
I think JW left not long after that, if I'm not mistaken. He said he was heading out. It was somewhere about then, right?
I left right just about as soon as the low life beekeepers picture.
Yeah, it wasn't long after that's when I left.
Yeah.
You know, Mike Berry was leaving on Sunday. You talk to him lately, Joey?
Yeah,
He make it back and all that?
yeah, he's back. He left around 5 Sunday morning. That's when we were actually going to leave around 4 or 5, but that my wife kept watching that weather and it said it was going to be all icy around a little after midnight Saturday night. So we said, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, it's no fun.
Well, he's got a 29, he says. I've got a 17 for temperature right now here at my place. Tomorrow night's supposed to be the coldest night of our year, is what they're supposed to get down about 9 tomorrow night here.
It's windy as all get out on the coast, and I guess they got a fire down there by LA.
Yeah, a big one looks like from the news.
That's what I heard.
Maybe you get lucky and it wiped it all out.
Well, yeah, that's one way to look at it. That'll solve a few problems.
Kind of like us with Chicago up here. You got rid of LA and San Francisco. California would be a pretty nice state again.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, up in Northern California years ago, they tried to secede from the state. And they were going to call it the state of Jefferson. Yeah. There's several counties up there, and even to this day, that's how they live up there. Nobody really bothers them too much up there, but it would have been nice actually. It would have been somewhere I could go without moving out of the state, so to speak.
Sure.
It's pretty up there. It really is.
Oh, yeah, it's really nice. Yeah.
You get a lot of rain up there. You get snow in the mountains. But oh well.
So, Keith, that thing, it's like trifold. Looks like it. Let's see if I can show this right quick. I don't have my other monitor hooked up. Let's see. I'll turn this background off. I know y'all not gonna be able to see it with the background.
Oh.
I can't see anything, so you'll have to go out there and check my car and blast it. What? You have to go out there and check my car and blast my heat. What?
That's one picture.
My car and blast my heat out there so I can clear
That's one frame folded up.
Yeah. Huh. That's a new one on me.
Yeah.
It almost looks like maybe I'm wrong, but it almost looks like the size of when it's folded up, like the size of a mating nuke. And maybe I'm wrong.
Well,
You don't run.
it's folded in 3 pieces. So I don't know. I never seen that before.
Can you drive on the lakes up there yet, Russell?
I guess I didn't miss anything.
I said, can you drive on the lakes, Russell Gootman? I was in the service with some fellas from Eau Claire, Wisconsin, or a fellow, and he and his brother, every year we go up there to them Boundary Water Lakes, and Lake of the Woods up there, and went out there ice fishing, and they put us in a half track. There, we like a half track anyway, and run out across the lake. I was a little bit nervous, but it held us.
Well, I just wanted to come on and say hello. I got to get moving.
I'm glad you did. You cooking?
No, I already ate.
Oh,
I cooked and ate already. So,
goodness.
yeah, I got some things to do around here to get done before I start petering out. And
That's
then,
what happens when you have to work for a living. I'm
Yeah.
glad
yeah.
I'm independently wealthy, so I don't have to do that kind of stuff.
Oh. Well, anyway, I'll see you guys later. And
All right. Appreciate you coming on.
yeah, I'm glad everyone had fun at the expo. Maybe one of these days I'll get over there.
Next year, Todd. Come next year.
You know, if I did go, I would just walk around the vendors all 3 days.
Yeah.
Not really a speak unless some crazy topic on speaking popped up. Then I would probably peek in there, but otherwise, I'd look at everything and just talk to everybody.
You know what, Todd? And that's just it. There's just so much to do in basically 2.5 days.
Yeah.
This year, Melissa and I, and we kind of did that last year. We said the same thing. I said, when Amy released the videos, I'm like, I can watch everything on video. Now, I prefer to see it in person, but I'm like, it was a little more important to me to spend time face to face with everybody, and I'm like, I would just rather live more in the moment than go sit in all the classes. Now, Melissa and I did get into the comb class, which was very helpful. It was a small class, and they only offered 2. So we had the ability to go into that. So since we paid for it, I'm like, it's probably best that we go sit in on that class because I do want to see it. And I'm like, everything else was going to be on video. So I'm like, you know what? We'll watch it over the next coming months here and there. But, getting, like you said, talking to everybody is where it was at. Just the communication and just camaraderie.
fun. Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. Hopefully one of these days I'll get over there.
I'm going to tell you the best thing that I got from Nobby this year, Todd.
What's that?
And I'll let you go. Lisa Gowan, that's the lady that gets on here as midwife. What is it?
Yeah. Lisa.
Grabby's midwife. They had some cherry amaretto.
Mhm.
Yeah. Best thing that come out of Nobby as far as I was concerned. It stuff was out of this world. I'm gonna have to get some more from her.
Oh,
good.
wow. That does sound good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is good. I about got it eat up already.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Ah,
Yeah, that was pretty amazing stuff when you opened it up there. It had a really good aroma to it, and the taste was phenomenal.
wow.
We was having a honey tasting one night. What night was it? Friday night. Yeah, Friday night. We set up and had the honey tasting about. And you know what? The truth of the matter is, most of that honey, I thought was nasty. Sorry, but
Well, good. I won't bring mine next time I go, or if I go. I might bring one for you though, JW, for you to try.
wouldn't mind trying some of that. See some of your so-called orange honey.
Huh?
And I lived in Orange Country for a good while, but I never I didn't eat the
You
honey.
can,
Yeah.
if you could talk Joey to driving up there, I'll bring you some orange honey.
No. Well, Joey, I can come down and pick you up. You don't think you can make it?
I got
All
a
right,
I got a
what's
I got a
that?
landing strip right across the creek from me. You can just land there and
Yeah, land your plane there, pick him up, and
yeah, I can walk across the creek and get in and we'll take off.
All right, I'll see you guys later. Everybody have a good day tomorrow.
Good night, Todd.
See you later.
Good
See
seeing you,
soon.
Todd.
See you soon.
Thank you, James.
So ECP said something about the he bought a solar wax melter
Yeah,
from Hilco.
yeah.
I'll tell you what, you'll really enjoy that. Melissa and I have, I think, 3 of them, and we use them often throughout the year. And that's actually when her and I do a lot of cutouts. That's where most of that comb goes into, well, depending on if it's dark or light comb, we have 3 different ones that we use. Some of them with the brood comb is a little nastier. We put it in, we just keep it in one of them. But those solar wax melters work really well. And for the cost, I mean, there's nothing to go wrong with it. It's a solar wax melter, right? So they work pretty well. Melissa and I, we like I said, enough that we bought 3 of them, and they all get used pretty frequently there. So I don't think you're gonna dislike that. It's a good.
I got one also, and I haven't even opened my box yet. So I haven't
Thank
opened
you,
it.
Chris.
Oh, did you pick that up?
Yeah. I got that and some a bag of. I wanted to try. I've always used Day Dance artificial pollen, and I bought a bag of Man Lake artificial pollen just to see if everybody talks about it being pretty good. I don't know, or the bees liking it pretty well. So all I use it for is I call them robin stations. I put it out just to see in the spring, just to see what's going
Y'all know
on.
who that belonged to, don't you?
Mhm.
That came out of Missouri. Is he in here right now,
I
Matt?
haven't seen
I
him.
haven't seen them.
No.
When he first asked me if I wanted any, I said, "Nah, I don't ever use it." And then about 2 minutes later, I changed my mind. I said, "Let me give this stuff a try."
Yep.
I got 2 of these. That's a big chunk.
I'm thinking that maybe C stand for. I never seen any of it or used any of it. I figured that's similar to what Stan's making. I don't know, down there in Texas. So
I'll
he's
define
got
it.
set. What do they call them? Stands soft.
Yeah, soft set or soft
Yeah.
patties
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't realize this, but he donates all of the, I don't know if it's profits or what it was, to the Hives for Heroes. I don't think he takes any of that. That's what I understood.
No, he don't. No,
That's pretty awesome, isn't it?
I totally don't. I don't know the man personally.
No, I don't either. I just, I think somebody was talking about that here this weekend, actually.
I'm not sure which one I got. If you want to know the truth, I think I got the Pro B. I'm not sure.
I picked me up 10 of those Pro Nukes. We don't get anything else other than the queen excluders that I pre-ordered. I got through loading my stuff up and Mike Berry's stuff up, and I had a big empty square spot in my truck. I said, something needs to go right there. I went and picked up 10 Pro Nukes.
Oh yeah. Did you get that? Who'd you get them off of, Joey? Remember?
Hilco.
Okay.
They got all kind of weird painted colors on them things, don't they?
Four colors.
4? Yeah, probably what it is. But
Yellow.
I don't know if this was just a flaw or what. It was kind of cool on the lid of this one.
Yellow, pink, purple, or yellow, purple, blue, and green.
Turn that screen off again.
He must have been. I can see that. He must have been changing color. I don't know. That must have been a change. I don't know what he.
Let's see. It's kind of pretty.
Yeah. Huh.
Where'd you get that?
That's a green box. I've never.
Where'd that come from, Joey?
Hilco.
Really? I didn't see those. I mean, I seen the boxes. I didn't see that color.
That's not a standard color. They're made right here down the road from me.
It might have just been when he was changing colors or something.
Yeah,
Something like that.
but I
Hey,
never
Joey,
seen.
that up again.
Let's see.
Huh?
Hold that box
Tom
up.
likes different stuff. He might have had. He might see. I've not seen the green. Not seen green bottoms either.
No, me neither.
I bet John's had him make those special
Probably.
because all of his standard bottoms are brown.
Yep.
What color is the door? Pink.
Pink.
Most of the doors were pink. I think they got a few other colors. But
Well, the doors match the lids usually. You know, whatever color the lids are, that's what color those slider doors will be.
Yeah, there was 4 colors, wasn't there? There was yellow.
Yellow, pink, blue, and green.
Yep, that's it.
yeah, that's about it.
Did JW, when you seen those sitting in the warehouse and those pallets on there, did you see that color sitting there?
No.
No.
But he's got. he had a couple buildings, Tom, full of them things stacked 2 pallets.
Yeah. Well, Joey, that price that Hilco had there was a pretty good price.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see another color over here. Like I say, I'm kind of color ignorant.
I bet
What
you John
colors?
had
What
special
colors
thing.
are they?
They're pink, blue, green, and yellow.
Isaac, go turn that stove top off. Turn the space off.
So ECP, we did. We picked up a couple of pink acorn frames, and I'll give them away at our meetings. I didn't use the ones because they had pink last year. I just gave them away at our club meetings for beginners who need something. Just gave those away, and then we did get the yellow veils from Hilco. We'll probably hang on to those for anybody that extra would come into a bee yard or something. Offer them a little bit of protection or something. So that was a pretty awesome gig that John gave away. You know, he did.
He's had those made special.
That's
that's
kind of purplish.
That's kind of cool.
That is cool. That's
You
neat.
have to use those purple ones for your swarm trap. Well, or the blue ones too. Tom says that's the best colors.
Yeah.
Swarm traps.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's only going to blue boxes.
They go in the blue boxes.
What Tom says he likes the best pink, blue, or purple.
Tom Mack.
Yeah.
Here's another weird color.
It's like you just put the colors all together and they extruded how they extruded.
Mm-hmm.
I'd
Yeah.
say that's the case.
Y'all can't see that, can you?
He said not dorm.
John had him do those special maybe because I've not seen any over there like that.
That's good to know, Mark. That's what I'm building all my nukes in this year is pro nukes. But by the time that mine are gone to customers, it's not going to be on here. So
All right, what I miss in the chat?
not too much so far. Hey Brian, if you're not busy, come in here.
Learn more. I think the it's called Ultra Bees. There's the manly.
I got one and gave it away.
Boy, I think they call it Ultra Bee.
Hey Steve Wehrmouth, are you talking about the pro nukes, the bottle feeder on the top?
Well, Brian Zavada above said he bought some of those paint, the things that Bob Benny uses. He's going to drill holes in the top of the Pronix and put those in instead of using the.
There he is.
Hey, Mike.
Evening.
Howdy.
How could somebody as big as me miss somebody big as you and not want to know?
I have no idea.
If you'd have showed up to the No Life Beekeepers, you'd have seen him.
Yeah, sitting right next to Mike.
So I talked to Mike for probably, I don't know, a good hour or better.
Well, you could talk to a rock longer than that.
I'd rather talk to people. We had a nice time, didn't we, Mike? I think you're muted.
I don't know if he's muted
or something's wrong.
Something's not
Am I
connected.
muted?
You
There
got
you go, there
We
you
got
go.
you, buddy.
You know, we need to get a booth just for the no lifers. Just put
No,
chairs in there and let people come in and out.
You know what?
That is it.
Next year we'll take up I think the 10 by 10, the smallest booth is like 4 1/4. So we'll take up a donation and we can get us a booth. We'll start that. We'll start that in July.
I have a better idea. There's a guy in the chat down there that's really good at building honey shelves, the shelf master. He's got a connection with the guy that runs the operation. I forget his name now. Starts something like Cayman, ends with Reynolds, I think. He's got a connection. I think he owes
Shelf Master Philip Morris.
He's got a connection, man. He can get us a booth space. The No Life Beekeepers.
That's a great idea.
There definitely wasn't enough places in there to sit down, was there, fellas? There's plenty. My feet were actually tired from walking so many miles in there.
I'd have to go to Rooster's place and sit down every now and then.
I took up residence in Mr. Ed's chair there for a while.
I want to get one of those carts, the buggy that
He had, I know.
Randy had. That's nice.
Yeah. Bring chairs, make a banner. That's right, Brett.
Phil, we're still on here because we got a late start, and he made up good massage chairs.
Hey, listen, Phil's bringing all the massaging chairs for all the bigwigs. You know, like Joey, JW. You know, he's bringing massaging chairs for you guys.
Brian's gonna chip in for chairs and make a banner.
Hey, Lee, Tom is definitely not giving massages. He is definitely not doing that.
Tom's gonna give the massages.
I spent a few hours over at Bill's sitting in his big comfy chairs.
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Somebody had a question back there on Joey had a question on what you do quite a bit of swarm trapping. I do a small amount. I just use lemongrass. Just a touch of lemongrass is all I put in them, and use comb stuff. He want to know what you do quite a few swarm traps. What do you use in them?
What was the question?
Did we use what we use in the swarm traps?
This right here?
Yeah, swarm spray, or just use lemongrass on catching swarms.
I have used lemongrass for years. Lemongrass,
Yeah,
oil.
that's all I use.
And never had issues with it. It works real good. Now I've got some of Bob's stuff I bought for him to kind of help support him.
Yeah,
But and I also just make my own concoction just for fun. I take a little alcohol and any queen I crush, if I don't leave her in the hive dead,
yeah.
unalive, I put her in there. Alcohol, just let her soak. And at the beginning of the swarm season, I crush them all up in that alcohol. Does that work? I have no idea. That's what the old timers always told me they used to do.
Yeah.
But I still put my lemongrass all on there.
And don't get carried away with it, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's just to get them to the box. And the best thing for inside the box is an old comb. Even if it's just an old busted up, broken up wax that you got for somebody and crush it and throw it down in there.
Mm-hmm. That's the same. So it sounds like, looking up here at Flower Street's comment, and I think Lee commented to it, looks like Lee's already has to plan to come next year since he bailed on us this year. I mean, that would be something else. If you had a booth space, you had a little mini studio in there, you had chairs in there, kind of like almost like the Highs for Heroes program was. Or not program, their space, how they had a few tables, cocktail tables, and then chairs that are in there. That really seemed to actually help out quite a bit. Hold on, Melissa's yelling at my boys outside because they're revving their cars up, and it's 9:32. They're trying to get out of the driveway. Anyway.
I think with all the plowing they've done, they know how to drive in the snow.
Well, they have cars. They don't have trucks. So I didn't bother to clean our driveway because it's really difficult unless you have a side entry driveway to plow past it. So, and it was getting really heavy to shovel. I cleaned up my sidewalk and I left the rest alone. I wasn't going to deal with it anymore. But what's up, Brian?
Not much. How are you?
Good, man. Have you gotten some rest or what?
Yeah. I definitely. It was a long drive home for sure, and my cat clearly has missed me very much because she won't leave me alone.
Want some attention?
That's right. But yeah, it was a good drive back. It was long, and I'm all rested up, ready to get back to work.
Did you run into any weather at all, or were you all clear?
It was really nice, actually. I left. I was so tired Saturday. We took that picture, and then I ended up walking around with Paul and Tom. We kind of hung out. Oh, we hung out at the table. We all crashed at that table pretty much, and we all
sat there while Tom ran around and loaded the car.
I know.
Yeah, nice.
Melissa worked for me for a while, and I missed all that good conversation and stuff. And then I was kind of getting antsy, to be honest with you, because I knew that I needed to leave pretty quickly, and I'm trying to beat all that snow back.
Yeah.
To nice cup, Jeffrey. I was trying to beat all the snow back to St. Louis because I knew I had to get some stuff done, and that was really pressing on my mind, honestly. So,
where'd you happen to get that awesome hat and cup there that you're modeling this evening?
I won it.
Nice.
Awesome, man.
Where'd you win that from?
Oh, somebody did an awesome thing for Highs for Heroes.
Yes, sir.
I
think that's great.
I don't know if John Mitchell's on here tonight or not. Westcliff. He's the one who donated that stuff.
Yep. I think he might have been earlier.
Well, I could have got somebody's creamed honey, but we got creamed honey, and I wanted the hat. And I drank coffee out of it this morning. Got it yesterday. So.
Let me see it.
Oh, let's see here. I need the sweatshirt. Joey, don't you have a hoodie that goes with it?
Yeah.
I need to get me a hoodie.
I think it's on Zazzle.com is
Yeah.
the website.
Yeah. I'll have to find me one.
That hoodie is super soft on the inside too.
That come
Yeah.
from John out there in Colorado.
I imagine somebody got some good creamed
Yes.
honey, the other gift. Yeah, I think it was John.
Yeah. I got a question for the group. Did anybody say did Cayman make a commitment as to if he's going to try to stay there or got a different date or anything? Anybody know anything about that, Pars?
Superdome.
Yeah.
Superdome in New Orleans. I'd be
Yeah.
afraid I know somebody might run over me.
No, that's what I was going to tell him, but I forgot when I was standing there talking to him. I was going to tell him he need to get the Superdome next year.
Was John in the picture? I didn't see him.
Yeah, John Mitchell? I don't know.
You really get to understand the benefit of doing it over and over at the same place. Even if the place they settled on is imperfect, their ability to get better at running their event there every year is just going to get, it's just going to get more and more. So I could totally understand it, why people would want it to move around. But from an event planner's perspective of something on that scale, it seemed like everything was so much smoother in the setup and everything went really, really well this year. And I can't imagine it wouldn't get even better next year.
I also felt like the people, it seemed like less of a stressed event in some manner of speaking. Like Cayman before in the past always seemed like he was running around. I mean, almost quite literally like a chicken with his head cut off. And he just seemed like he was really distracted the whole time. But he had a voice this time. I only seen him. I didn't stop him anywhere before the last day. I seen him in the back when Bill was doing some donation stuff to Hives for Heroes, and I see him in the back there, and I just stopped him for just 5 minutes. Well, it wasn't even 5 minutes, and just showed my appreciation and stuff. We talked about him coming to St. Louis at some point in time and such. But anyway,
He just more relaxed.
he was much more relaxed, and I felt like that whole feeling throughout the entire event. I mean, am I wrong, or did you guys feel the same
No,
thing?
he was more like a guest there. He was like us.
Well, and I'm kind of glad for him, honestly, because I understand, when you are planning an event, you really are focused solely on making sure that the entire event goes off, very well. So sometimes you're very distracted, and you can't. It's harder to enjoy something like that. So I'm glad to see that it just seemed more calm. And really, the entrance into the facility last year I thought was pretty good, but this year was even better as far as getting in. Now, Melissa and I didn't have to stand in the entire line because Melissa had like 16 entries or something. So she had several. So we got in a lot earlier. Well, not a lot, a little bit earlier than some of the other folks, but it was just super, it was easy to get in. One of the pictures that I had on that video that Melissa posted yesterday was of the table with all the names on it, which I'm telling you what, I don't know how, Brian, you might remember, I don't know how many 8-foot tables were in there with name tags covering the entire thing, and Philip was actually standing there too. So Philip,
those 2 kids, yeah.
He knows how many tables there were.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there was so many tables you couldn't see the end of it almost. It was just like
never ending.
It just kept going, and they were all full, completely full of name tags. I can only imagine how long it took to set that up because they were all alphabetized on the tables as you went through. It was super seamless as you went down. There was plenty of people to help, got you in the door, got you out. We were greeted by Philip, his son, Noah, and then his daughter Sophie was there. And I don't know, it was amazing. A great welcoming committee. And there was other people there too. Don't get me wrong, but they were a great welcoming committee.
And there were multiple people scanning people into multiple doors. So there wasn't a wait. There wasn't a bottleneck at all. And then you go through a door and you open up. And like you said, it was that long line of tables. and there was no crowd there because it was so spread out that people were able to grab exactly what they were looking for immediately. It was great.
Yeah, once that line started to move, you were just walking at a regular pace.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it was amazing. I thought last year was amazing how fast it moved, and I think it was about double this year.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, Mike. Yeah, I didn't realize that, but it was pretty.
Because we parked in the second parking lot in the middle, and then we walked away from the thing to get into line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody had my ID.
No, we just moved it on the table. We took Joey out of the spot where he should be and moved it way down the line so it confused him.
That's what Philip said he was going to do with yours.
Oh, he did? Oh, I
Were
didn't.
you not listening?
No,
He was telling us that.
I didn't.
when
I
we
didn't see
came
that.
in.
Well, I was distracted.
Joey, it's RAWLS.
Yep.
Next year, when you go to get your card, look under the R's first, then go RAW.
It wasn't there.
I wonder if next year, though, he's going to move it to the second weekend in January because that first weekend is going to be New Year's.
Yeah.
That's what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I had
first one.
heard rumors that he had a date
A week later.
lined up, but that's a rumor, so that's the reason I was asking.
Yeah, hard to say, but that would make a lot more sense. I think that this conference would have grown even more if it was pushed back 1 week.
Sure, there's a lot of folks that I
I heard it
know.
was only 40% repeat people from last year. It was 60% new people.
Wow.
Philip said somehow Joey's tag got in my back pocket. So he was the one that was messing you up, Joey.
I kept trying to find it. I'd keep starting over. I said there was a Joseph or something
Same thing.
right where mine should have been. I said I bet they picked the wrong one up. And I kept looking all over the place, and finally she said, "What you looking for?" It's Philip's daughter, and I said,
So-
"Joseph Rawls." I think Dad's got that in his pocket.
Yeah, he was messing with you then.
There's a lot of times if they don't use up the whole facility, there will be other events. Like later in the year at the same 2 or 3 different events at the same time. I do know that. I've been there when they've had them.
Well, that was another thing that came in. Reynolds had actually mentioned too that he said, he mentioned just what you said, JW, that sometimes there's multiple events, and he said he didn't want to have us compete for parking because those parking lots are huge, and if you don't get there fairly early, you're going to walk a quarter mile. It's there wouldn't be a hurt.
Tom, you must have made it out back.
Say again.
You make it out back of the place? That
Yeah.
parking lot's huge.
Oh.
The
Oh,
back
yeah.
side of the building.
Well, Mike, they believe it or not, when they have big shows there, like that farm equipment show, which is in February every year, that whole thing inside the fence, clear around it, is full of automobiles or trucks and so forth. And then them buildings are all full of farm equipment of some kind. There ain't anything to do with farming or agriculture is in that thing. It's
You
huge.
can set a NASCAR track down in the middle of that thing.
Oh yes, very much
We,
so.
we had a waitress at Cracker Barrel that was telling us that's where their state farm, and we were talking about how particular they were about bringing carts out into the lobby. She says that's where they keep the pigs and piglets.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. That's for the farm equipment or the
State fair.
livestock exposition. Yeah.
So, did you guys see how a lot of people were taking those little collapsible wagons and using them to bring in like your honey stuff, which Melissa and I did, and then they were using them to put stuff in or what have you? Brian, how many of those carts do you think you've seen there?
Enough to make me want to have my own.
I mean, a lot, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to here too. I use them all the time for the market things we do. So
interestingly enough,
Yeah.
Last year, we walked in and out of that place with that. I don't know if we did all 3 days, but I know we did the first day for sure. Maybe there was another day because we used it to pick up a few smaller things in, nothing big, nothing heavy.
Yep.
There was no question. Nobody said a thing to us, right? It was Melissa and I left. So it ended, I think, at 6 o'clock, was it? Or 6:30 on Saturday evening. It was right before, it was about 20 minutes until 5, I think. Yeah, about 20 minutes until 5 that Melissa and I were leaving and finally getting everything on the road. I had a few things in in Melissa's little wagon thing, just some real small stuff, nothing huge. Well, I had to go out to the donation, not the donation, what was the table going down the middle of the hall that you could wrap?
Auction.
Silent auction, yeah.
Auction, thank you. So there was 2 things that I bid on. One of them was something that Larry Ann and Mary Sears had built. And I'll tell you, they entered several things, much like they always do, all custom made stuff. And well, there was, I don't know, 3 or 4 people that bid higher than me beyond that. And I didn't get back over there. Well, so I just assumed that, I didn't get it, which was fine. Not a big deal. And I think I bid it up, I don't know, twice what the estimated, it may have been 3 times the estimated value of it, just for the good cause, right? And so anyway, I get a call and I didn't recognize the number and I ignored it because, kind of living in the moment there. And I got another call, like, I don't know, 5 minutes later, and I'm like, huh. So I went ahead and answered it. Because it was an out-of-state number. I thought, well, what if there's somebody here that's trying to get in touch with me? So I answered it, and it was a gal and that was in charge in the front said, hey, we noticed that you had bid on the silent auction. And I guess whatever happened is whoever actually won it, they tried to call them or contact them, and they never answered. So at some point, they go to the next name on the list, and did that. They went down 3 or 4 of them and then got to me because nobody answered their phone or people had already left. And they wrote those notes on there and said, hey, we noticed you bid on that. Would you be interested in the item still? And I'm like, well, yeah, sure. And so you want to hold that up? So anyway, we actually
Nice.
got this
nice.
piece here.
So like a comb honey frame display case.
I was going to take the lid off.
Yeah, so it is a display case, and I wanted one, and I'm still going to have. I asked Ricky to make me one for a medium frame, and then one for a large.
Nice. Look at that.
And if he's on here listening, I still want him to make me those, but I want to use these for displaying comb frame. So, like if we go to any event or things like that, we can display something if you get something nice, right?
Yeah,
so I'm really glad and proud that we were able to get a hold of this. This is actually made with, I think that's poplar actually.
Yeah.
And a really good, nice piece of art. They made some really cool stuff there.
They used real glass.
Real glass in there. Some really cool hardware and stuff on it. So I don't know. I was super pumped to actually get it anyway, and going to display our stuff in it proudly, of course. So, being able to help out that program, which, Brian, how many of those kids you think were there? 30, 35 maybe?
Something like that.
It was over 40.
Yeah.
40? There could have
42.
been. I'll tell you what, I didn't get to see a lot of it, but I talked to a couple of the young kids that were there, and I think it was absolutely amazing. I love the idea and would like to bring that sort of thing to the EMBA, where you sponsor maybe a couple kids or something like that, and work that process out. So maybe we'll do something like that next year. But I think it's amazing, and the amount of donations that went in there. How many tables long was that?
They raised over 17,000.
Yeah,
That's awesome. It's amazing. So that can allow a lot of potential young beekeepers, whether they follow through at the commercial level or just on a hobby level, to get their feet wet in there. So John Hill actually donated smokers inside of the metal smoker boxes. John signed it, came and signed it. They had a little thing back there. His generosity with that was absolutely amazing. It seemed like every time you turned around at this event, there was something else being donated in some form or fashion, whether it was to people, to the kids, to an organization, whatever it was. Every time I turned around, it seemed like there were so many different times throughout the day, some organization, some individual or person, group was donating something to somebody else. And I think that, that type of generosity at an event that big it's pretty astounding to me.
So, not that what you just said wasn't important, but you lost your you were going for the wagons. You were talking about the wagons.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
And then you got distracted.
That was quite a rabbit hole.
Hey, and that's that brain that I had that I was talking about earlier. Remember?
Yeah, your wagon derailed.
Yeah, it did derail. So the last day on that, I actually went somewhere better than where I'm going at right now. I was going to be just a little bit negative, but the last day at the end, we're walking out and I'm pulling the wagon. Melissa had to go down and fill up her water bottle before we're leaving, and I'm rolling it out the front door, as I've done every day of that event and last year with no questions whatsoever. A lady says to me, she wouldn't even get up out of her seat. You know, the people who sat at the doors there at the going into like the showroom area.
Yeah. So one of the Expo staff, not one of the Cayman staff, one of the facility staff.
Correct. Yes, that is correct. Yeah, it wasn't Cayman staff. She says, "Sir," and because it was really emptying out in there, I was actually here and I didn't know who she was talking about. I turned around and she goes, and listen, keep in mind, I am 5 feet from the front door. 5 feet. She goes, "You can't take that through the front door." And I'm looking around like, who are you talking to? And she goes, "Yeah, you can't take that through the front door." And I'm like, "Are you serious right now?" And she says, "Yeah, all the product has to go out the back." And I'm like, I'm confused right now because I'm like, I've seen no less than probably 50, maybe 60 or plus people do this exact same thing
all
years.
Weekend long. All weekend
long. And I'm like, so I'm 5 feet from the front door and you want me to spin around and walk, I don't even know, 100 yards to the back side of the building to bring my car around? And I'm like, "I'm sorry, ma'am." I'm like, "I'm not going to do that." And I turned around and walked out the front door.
He was confused on her instructions that were given her.
I think so. I think she was confused what a cart and a wagon.
They wasn't supposed to be bringing those heavy carts through there.
Right.
Yeah. Now I had seen some people stop that were trying to get the carts out of the trade show.
Yeah, and
not
just for
the wagons that you brought on your own.
You know,
that's right.
I'm not knocking law enforcement, but a lot of that has happened with law enforcement.
Really?
Enforcing the wrong law.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I seen it in corrections. I worked 27 years in it, and they'd enforce the wrong law or the wrong rule.
Yeah.
Or enforce it wrongly.
I wasn't trying to be ignorant, and I wasn't ignorant to the lady. I just simply said to her, I'm like, "Ma'am," I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. And I'm like,
true, Philip.
She wasn't even going to get out of her seat. You know what I mean? And I'm like, that's fine. I'm going to go. My car was down the sidewalk or that big entrance area, not more than 100
It wasn't just the carts that weren't supposed to go out.
Yeah,
that's right.
From Hilco and stuff.
Yeah.
Because they shouldn't let you in with them if they're not going to let you out with them.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Mike. 100%. Right. You know, and I wasn't doing anything there trying to break the rules. That was not my intention. I was not trying to be ignorant or rude or anything. I just thought this is silly. If the point is not to bring a cart on that type of flooring, I would literally have to go full on back across the flooring with that cart. And that's just silly to me. So
twice the damage.
I got yelled at for the Hilco cart last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
I went right out the door. I said, "Well, I'm not turning around. I'm already at the door."
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if they were that worried about it, she should have been on her feet and, stopping people. Literally, I mean, I walked out the door, this trade room show door, right. I was a foot and a half from her as I'm wheeling the cart through, Melissa and I walk over to the table. Never said one word. Waited until I went over to the table where the donations were at, picked up my item, paid for my item, and I started walking across. Not one word until I get 5 feet from the door.
I think the flooring was cement.
out there,
I never paid any attention.
tile, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a
I
commercial.
don't know, but all I know is they put pigs in there.
That's crazy.
I have a tip for next year too. If you get a pre-order and you pick it up and it's in a box, open up that box and check and make sure your items are correct. Because I went and I bought all the beeswax from Blue Sky, and it came in 2 giant cardboard boxes, and they're like let's open these up just to make sure we got the right amount. And I'm going, no, I trust you guys. And they're like, no, you don't know who could have packed these. And I was like, okay, let's count.
You know,
So
I didn't
then-
even go by their booth. I didn't even stop by there.
Yeah, I got some sourwood from them this year.
Oh,
But
cool.
when I went to get my Better Bee pre-order, I got 2 boxes and something just didn't feel right. It's like, this feels like there's more than I ordered. So I opened it up with the girl, and there was one thing that was wrong about my order. So we were able to, and Better Bee's great with their customer service. So she noted it on the invoice, and she's like, call when you get back home and we'll make it right. We'll send it out to you. That's my tip. Check when you pick it up if it's in a box and you have multiple items.
I got a text from Hilco during the closing ceremony that they had shorted me an item.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it was Hive Alive.
That's awesome that they followed up with you like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for I had to leave the closing thing to go get it.
Mm.
Hey, Clay, I don't know if you can see it, but this.
Hold up.
You're too far high.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going, showing the floor. He's showing the floor.
I'm showing the floor right now. He wanted to see what the floor looked like. That's the commercial material, but the picture is actually.
Oh wait, look, that's where Paul Hale spilled the coffee all over everybody. Look, I didn't even realize it was captured in the photo.
I seen that. That was pretty funny, right?
Well, Alicia didn't think it was funny. She was
that's true. Alicia was kneeling in it, so.
Yeah, last year they had the photographer that you give him and just
You know what I say, Mike?
You have a thing there.
Front row saucemen are always on the front row politicking.
we were invited up there, actually.
Yep.
I was going to stand up in the thing, and then
Philip put us there.
Actually said, Melissa, Tom, come here. And then, so Melissa went to one side, and I kneeled down as Melissa's +1. And, so.
Blame it on poor old Phil. Yeah.
We were going to have you laid out in front of the check, JW, but we couldn't find you. You were tucked in the back already.
That was funny. I was listening to the chat last night, and I hear Phil go, "Oh, I wish I'd met Big Mike." Well, see, I talked to him twice.
Oh boy, that guy! I don't know about him.
He goes,
That's
"Oh
what
yeah,
I was thinking, Philip."
I was at Bill's, sitting there, and he come over, and I didn't recognize him at first because I've never seen him without a hat.
I think Philip's right on that floor. I think that was correct.
Not neither.
I got neighborhood kids bringing food up here cooking. Now I'm not sure what's up with that.
Oh, the only part of that floor is in that main entrance.
I get a slice.
Facility, all of it. The rest of it's concrete, except the Freedom Hall in there where they play basketball. Of course, that is. The rest of it's anything in that live show or livestock show or that farm implement show that they have there. Heck, they run big combines and cotton pickers and the whole bed over them floors. You know, that's all full of heavy machinery. A lot of it. But the only place that is that north of the north entrance, main entrance. The only place that's got that tile on it, but it's I don't think it's not terrazzo tile. It's just regular tile, I think.
I can't imagine.
I think you could really hurt that terrazzo with a cart. I don't.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. It's kind of like you see that flooring sometimes in dealerships, right? Or I've seen it before in like equipment dealerships. We pick up skid steers or stuff like that. I've seen skid steers parked on top of that stuff.
Yeah, it's hard.
As long as it be. Well, anyway, they should have sold you out anyway.
So, Brian, where'd you say you buy your beeswax?
Jeff disappeared again.
Me, Big Mike?
Yeah, where'd you buy your beeswax?
From Blue Ridge Honey Company, Bob Binney.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
That's what you make your candles out of?
Mostly. Sometimes I have a source or two here in Colorado as well. Yeah. But it's always nice to stock up there at the Expo. And this is the second time I've been doing that.
Brian, did you get any more candle molds?
No, we didn't. No, that's not true. We got a candle mold from Angela Bauturst, Sean's wife. She gave us a candle mold as a thank you because she's been calling us, kind of asking us questions about making candles. And I had made a comment, I really like that one candle. So she brought us the mold and was like, here, I ordered a new one for myself. You can have this one. Isn't that really nice? Yeah.
Absolutely.
What was it a mold of? Do you know?
It was like 3 frogs on top of each other, so they were standing tall. So it was a nice kind of pillar, but with nice character in it,
That's cool.
Didn't they have that at the one Bee Light?
They had one similar to that, yeah, I think.
We bought how many candles from Bee Light? Or the molds, I'm sorry.
How many did we buy?
Yeah, molds. There was
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We bought 5 because we bought the turtle, 2 large morels, 2 small morels.
Yep. We added to the morel molds.
And another gnome.
Another gnome too. Those seem to do really well. And then
We bought 12 from them.
Did you? Yeah. They've got some pretty good stuff.
And then, so when I was entering my honey show things, I saw this one lady was entering a large skep. It was probably like 4 inches or something like that.
Yeah, I would say so.
It was really cool. And I'm like, oh, that is so cool. And one of the ladies that was one of the secretaries, one of the runners for the honey show, she knew me from when we took the class in Illinois, and she found me on the trade show floor. And she's like, I found that mold to that candle. So it was like Happy Bee Acres, which was on the like there. They were on the outside, closer to where Nature's Image Farm was.
Yep.
They were selling that mold there, and it was only like $25. Like that's inexpensive for a mold of that size.
Oh yeah, very reasonable.
So
I went into that booth because I picked up an order from a Colorado friend of mine from them. And honestly, I didn't look at anything in there. I was just like, I'm here to pick up an order, and I wish I would have slowed down and looked around a little more now and then.
Well, it wasn't like they had those metal shelves on the one side, and it was kind of like in a tub or something, like in a container on their shelf. It wasn't like it was, because I feel like that metal shelf, it was just kind of like haphazard. Like there was just kind of like a bunch of littles everywhere. Okay. So if that lady wouldn't have came and found me to specifically show me she found that mold, I never would have even stopped there to look at it,
Yeah. I wish I would have bought that mini wax melter from Better Bee. I went back and I tried to at the end on Saturday, and they were already sold out. The display was sold out. So I'm going to call tomorrow and see if they have it in stock. It's not on their website, but I'll call.
The thing with Better Bee is they don't ever do any type of free shipping, and their shipping is kind of expensive.
Yeah.
So see what that adds to the cost of that too.
Hey Brian,
that is kind of small. So as far as shipping goes, I figure that's not going to be ridiculous. Hopefully.
Brian, not talking to you out of Better Bee up in New York, but another option is Dogwood Ridge, which is now called
Growing Success.
Dwayne, help me out, JW. What was his last name? Dwayne Davis. Sold to Melissa and Dan. I forget their last name. Really nice folks, but they also sell licensed products. Okay. I think that they kind of work in cahoots with Better Bee.
They do.
So, like for me,
you're real nice to me. I'll even pick it up for you and bring it to St. Louis.
Growing Success, and then JW can get it and bring it to St. Louis.
You could do that.
I'll give them a call. See what I can do.
I did like
they're not open on Saturdays now during the winter months, but they are the rest of the time 8 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Or 4 or 5. I'm not going to say for sure.
We can send.
We'll just get started. I took over from the original folks at the Dogwood Bees, but I've done it about once a month, and I've got to make a trip down there because I had them to make me some special
like this.
landing board covers.
How'd you like carrying the wax spinner around, Brian?
It wasn't too bad. I had enough stuff in the back of my vehicle that it didn't shift around. I actually had them I had them take the legs off or not assemble the legs. Yeah. So I had to have it on 2x4s So there's like some hardware underneath that you didn't want it sitting on, right? So it did have to be propped up like that. But they gave me 2 sets of 2x4s, and then I just added boxes of the global patties on the other sides, and then I just padded it so it wasn't moving
It's got
around
some
at
good
all.
weight to it, though.
Yeah, it did. That would have probably helped me on the drive back, weighing down my vehicle.
I
Hey,
saw
Brian Lee.
as I was
Steve
picking up my
Emmett.
stuff at the end at Hilco, they also had purchased one.
Cool.
So I think they're gonna see how it's built to work on theirs.
Yeah.
I said to John, I said, I thought you hadn't made one. I said, that looks like a Maxon.
I didn't even look at the clarifier.
Did you see the smaller clarifier there?
No, I didn't see the smaller clarifier either.
Is that the one that was like $700?
I'm not sure. Hey, Brian, did you get a hat from Maxent for buying there? They had hats there. Were they not giving them away?
I was not offered a hat, nor did I ask for one.
I'm not sure. They have a cool hat. That's why I asked. I kind of wanted that. I kind of wanted one, but I don't know.
I agree. It was a nice hat. Yep.
I've bought like 3 tanks from them. I don't know what you guys spend to get a free hat.
Yeah.
You haven't reached. You're like $5 away.
I must be $5 away. So maybe JW get me one. I don't know.
Everything you buy, you learn a little bit about every company, and this time was no different.
Yeah.
That sounds out.
We was looking at that uncapper at Hilco that they were displaying, and somebody asked the guy that was standing there talking with the rollers in it.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked the guy that I was standing there talking with, he said, "You gonna get one?" He said, "I'm gonna wait till about the 3rd generation." He said they always improve something on the first one.
He's not wrong.
Yeah. I kind of felt like that wasn't the right piece of equipment for my needs as well. I definitely wanted to look at it when I was there, but I kind of went into it kind of knowing that that's how I was going to feel, just because of that simple harmony kind of style.
Well, he's supposed to be working on one that's more like the Lyson, with the blades.
Yeah, and I asked them about it, and they said it should be out by the next Expo. That's what they said in the booth. So I was kind of hoping to kick the tires on that one at this Expo, but that was not.
I forgot to ask him about hive lifters. He's supposed to be working on hive lifter too.
Oh.
Hope's.
Yeah, Hope's comment here. This is funny. American made, you get a free Chinese hat. Hey, Hope, you look at it this way. At least the product that counts is American made. The other part,
Somebody said that one of the who was telling us that they went to one of the Amish booths and they're advertising American made it, but there was a made in China sticker on the box.
Oh, I thought it was the sign.
I don't know.
I thought it was the sign that said made in China.
I don't know. I can't remember. I just read that the other day.
Hey, did anybody catch Steve Amos there? They had him kind of in the back playing.
He was bouncer, playing bouncer.
He was playing bouncer.
And he was out in that cold that Saturday.
Yeah, he was. I'll tell you what, man. If you've seen Steve Amos there, he's about a head taller than me. There's not too many people I have to look up to. Luckily, when I was chatting with him for about, Melissa came around the corner and see me over there talking with Steve for, probably half an hour or better back there. Got to meet his son and his wife. Great folks, just the nicest people you ever meet. They're just really, really good folks. But he was back there volunteering time and playing bouncer. I know that, Steve with his big old arms and that big beard, I wouldn't have told him no. If Steve would have been out front when I said, "Hey, you can't roll," I'd turn around and said, "Yes, sir," and I'd have went right back to the whole lobby and back down.
Yeah, you'd have probably picked that buggy up and went back to the door with it.
Right. I'd have been like, "Hold on, let me get Melissa. We'll crawl across the floor so we don't scratch it." But I had a real good time visiting with you, Steve. It was really awesome to catch up.
Yeah, I had a nice conversation. I actually saw him out back as I was loading up and stopped a couple times and had a couple nice conversations with him.
Good. Yeah, I met Steve last year actually when we were over at the at Thorne's booth when he was kind of somewhat introducing the wax dipping tank. When that was kind of his initial one. He was going to make improvements on.
Yeah.
And myself, Steve, and Steve helped us out. Who else was standing there with us chatting? There was somebody else was there with us chatting. We probably stood there for, I don't even know, half an hour better. Hard to say, but kind of chatting. So I'm really pleased to be able to see him again here this year. Yeah, so Steve needs to update his YouTube picture too. Steve doesn't look like that. Imagine this guy here with a full Grizzly Adams beard, looking real, like a guy you
with his lumberjack outfit.
With his lumberjack outfit, absolutely, you wouldn't mess with him. Yeah, could have been Tar Heel. I don't remember. One of them was standing there with us chatting.
DC, year. I don't think those people were there this year with the trailer with the hives on it.
No, they weren't. They weren't.
Yeah, I was a young couple from Florida. They weren't there this year.
Yeah, but there was plenty of other vendors there and most of it, and I didn't get to visit every booth.
I didn't even go down that last far aisle.
Yeah, there's a few people I didn't get to say hello to. Nick with Mother Load. I passed by Earl Hoffman. We chatted for like 2 minutes, but he was on his way to something. Told him I was going to come up there and visit him in a little bit, but forgot to get back over there and just off the beaten path, if you will.
I didn't even talk to Fred Dunn this year.
I didn't get to talk to him either. But I didn't even realize, I think it was your video, Melissa. I was in a picture with him. I was like, there I am with the picture. And I didn't get to talk to him once, but there I am.
We were standing next to Maxent.
Yeah.
And
talking to him for a few minutes.
Right. Someone stopped him when we were there. So
every time I saw him a ton, every time I saw him, he was in a conversation with someone else, though,
Yeah.
And it was like I could stand there and wait awkwardly, or I could move on and come back, and just never happened.
Mike, to regress on the conversation a little. If you're are you in need of some beeswax?
Me?
No, Mike, Big Mike. You mentioned he's asking about the beeswax.
I personally haven't really rented mine. I just started doing it from last year. I ended up with 55 pounds of cappings wax.
Oh, okay. No, Lappy's has got I think a pretty good wax, and if you get very much of it, it's $8 a pound straight. If you get very much of it, then you can get it free shipping. Takes about 7 or 8 pounds on the order. I didn't know if you had a need for it or not. He's asking Brian about the Bob Benny wax.
I've also ordered from a company called Ebert's out of Iowa. I think Lee turned me on to it, actually.
Yeah.
And they sell 2 different grades of wax, and their cheap one is pretty good too.
Yeah.
But again,
do you re-render it all?
Everything I buy, I'll render one last time just to make it candle quality. Because, like, I've got 15-pound blocks from Bob Binney. I'm not going to use a 15-pound block. I'm going to melt it down to something smaller anyway, then use it to make candles. So I might as well put it through one more filter while I'm making little bricks out of it.
Yeah. And Brian, if you can end up getting that wax melting tank, or you do decide to pull the trigger on that, you put however many pounds it'll hold in there and just leave it and pour out of there until you need to refill it. That was kind of our thought process. It'll speed things up for Melissa quite a bit. Actually, she can pour a lot of candles at one time and not have to do it more frequently. So
that's what I want to.
And my thought process here on this thing isn't even looking at the construction and the quality, and there really is not much to them. You have a tank, you have a quarter turn shut off ball valve, and you have a heating element. There's just not much to go wrong with that. To me, that's a lifetime plus piece of equipment. I should never need to buy one of those again.
Right.
So
So I was listening to you guys were planning the No Life dinner already last night. That was awesome, by the way.
Thank you, DC. We all appreciate it. We're glad we all made it back too. Hopefully you'll be able to join next year.
That's right, next year.
I think we should just find like a restaurant and rent the whole restaurant out, and we can look at the groups that have done events before around the 100-person size and kind of get ideas from them already. Because I know there's a bunch of groups that have been doing these for a while now, and every group is growing out of their previous event, but those might be good places to kind of think about as we're looking at size.
So I stopped and talked to, Matthew Booth was at, and I even talked to Craig Midget as well at the next day, but I talked to Matthew Booth at the Beaks and Brews there at Matthew's two sets with Comfort Pro, his little event. Mm-hmm. And I asked him, I told him my idea about, I said, I noticed that you guys had rented the VFW hall for your event, which had not happened at that point yet, by the way. This was on Thursday, and theirs was going to happen on Friday. Mm-hmm. And I said, if you all are going to keep yours on Friday, I might consider, if I can get the information or the contact, calling the VFW hall, thinking it could be an expensive place or reasonably priced place that might have a food or drink option there to rent out. And he said, yeah. And he said they were going to stick with their Friday night. So I didn't want to cross them in any way with their event and plan it out of sorts. And he said that they were going to stick with Friday because Thursday, the Beaks and Brews has theirs, and he said he didn't want to interfere with that. And I said, well, maybe we'll just have to stick ours again on Wednesday, before, maybe the day before, which maybe not be super convenient for everybody, but I don't want to step on any other group's toes either.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So if people wanted to come in that day earlier, they could go to that our event. But when I spoke with Craig Midget it was on Saturday, him and I were actually chatting for a while. Actually at the, if I'm not mistaken, when we had done
right after the picture
for the presentation of the check, Craig was not happy and he was not very pleased. He told them that he needed, I thought he said 200, but don't quote me.
Steve has 250 on here.
Oh, 250. I must be wrong. I thought Craig said 200, but I could have misheard him. That they only had that space set up for like 100 or 100 and something. They were far less in the tables and chairs than what they were supposed to have gotten, which really surprised me coming from the VFW to a veteran-friendly non-for-profit organization. You would have thought those guys would have bent over backwards and folded back over again to make that without a hitch. Yeah. Now, I wasn't there. I don't know anything about it. All I know is what he told me. And I thought, well, maybe that wouldn't be a good space then, because I felt like Melissa and I ran into that a little bit this year with the No Life Beekeeper, as we were told that space would hold 55. And I think that Joey or Big Mike in here can probably corroborate and say that space would not accommodate that very well, not without us basically standing on
35 chairs.
That's right. And the tables too, right?
And one waitress.
Big Mike ain't no little guy.
Hold on, one amazing waitress.
But she also had an announcer towards the end.
Yeah.
You were screaming orders and people's hands were going up.
Well,
she was show you how crowded that place was.
Well, I think she did.
If a fire marshal had came in there, half the people would have had to left, and half those tables would have had to left.
Mm-hmm.
That would have upset me quite a bit if that would have happened. Because that would have somewhat ruined the night really for us, and but I know there was a lot of people that actually just went up going over to the restaurant side, which wasn't connected at all. I mean, there was like a maze of a hallway to get through the kitchen to go over there. So I was thinking there was a doorway in between that we could kind of meander back and forth. That wasn't.
Yeah, they were telling you they had room for overflow, but they didn't say how it had to overflow.
Right, exactly.
You would have had to walk out of the double doors in the back of the building, walk all the way around to the front to go in the main doors. Somebody said there was actually more room up there and it was less crowded than what we were in the back. So what we should have done is left that room, all walked out around the front and said, we're taking this thing over. Yeah. We paid for the space to accommodate 55 and we're taking it,
But yeah,
It was still
it
great
all
meeting
it all ended up being
everyone.
good though. It all ended up being good though. It wasn't bad at all. But yes, next year we definitely need somewhere with more space.
I would say
Now,
definitely.
I got a question for Steve. They're probably busy, like on Wednesdays. If they wanted to be there, how late would we have to actually do the little party or get together for like Steve to get there?
Oh yeah, Steve. How late are you guys
I'd like
working
to
on
ask that question.
Wednesday?
Yeah, good call.
While he answers that, let's go to these couple questions we have here. So display super. Do most of you wax your hives, or what are your thoughts on waxing versus painting? I know waxing lasts longer. What are your thoughts? So for the last 3 years, we've wax dipped ours.
Been longer than that.
4 years. Yeah, 4 years. We've wax dipped all of ours, but we do it ourselves. We don't.
Most of our equipment is wax dipped.
Yeah.
All of mine pretty well is, but it's not cheap. Wax dipping isn't cheap. I can tell you that, and it takes quite a bit of it to.
You might want to clarify that, because some people, when they say they wax dip, that's basically all they did was dip. Y'all actually cook y'all.
That's right. Yeah, I do at least 300 to 315 degrees.
Yeah.
And the class last year said 3 minutes. I actually do mine longer. And I mean, I'm going to preface this with, I am not a chemist and I don't pretend to be one.
Not even on TV?
Not even on TV. Not even on TV. So
Played one in the movie.
Mike played one in the movie, so he's a little better than me. So I've been doing it for 5 minutes. They say 3. And I've been using the Hive Guard wax too, so I don't know what difference that makes. And that's a mix of
paraffin and microcrystalline.
Right. So
Can you paint over them?
Say again?
Can you paint over them?
So
Yes, you can.
Yes and no.
I paint the fronts of our boxes as soon as they come out of the wax.
Well, not quite as soon. You don't want it 300 degrees because it'll bubble it a little bit. If you let it cool off for about
you wait for all that wax to absorb and then you can paint it.
4 and 5 minutes, it's still hot enough that you can hit it with paint, and for the most part it sticks pretty good. If you wait till the box is cold and then paint it, it's just all going to peel off. That's been our experience. So, but we haven't been beekeeping long enough to say that, and or wax dipping our equipment to say how long it'll last. And I think that a lot of places are in the same boat. You know, this is not extremely new, but it's become a lot more common in the last handful of years. So,
but it is a large upfront investment if you're going to do it yourself.
The Thorn tank that he manufactures runs about $3,000. And then your wax that goes in there, I can't remember how many pounds it was, but it probably runs somewhere about 1,000, maybe $1,200. So you'd have a pretty good investment. But here's the thing: if you were in part of a really big club, and the club purchased something like that, waxed it for everybody, that would be, in my opinion, the way to do it. If you don't have anybody in your area that would want to either make the investment, or, you know, what have you.
Kind of bumping that around down here, but nobody's just actually jumped on it.
So that's kind of what, I mean, we did it initially just to wax dip our own stuff, but we did it for our club last year. You kind of figure out how much wax the boxes take, and our club just paid us back for the wax that was used. We didn't charge them anything, but the club charged, it was like a fundraiser. We
$6 a piece.
The club charged $6 a piece. Didn't matter what, if it was a bottom board, a lid, a box, every piece, it just made it easier to whatever. So that was a really good fundraiser for our club. We had a lot of people sign up to do that.
So Steve made the comment that was just Joey just pulled up there too. Listen, that information actually came from the guy who presented the class last year. I didn't sit in on it, but that's what I got back from that information last year. We were dipping it for, when I first started doing it, I was a little bit lower temperature and I was doing it for 15 minutes. And then I cut it down to 10 after I'd heard the information that came out on that last year, I guess it was, when we had done the fundraiser. So, you know, as long as I was still seeing the bubble, I knew that water was being displaced. So it's been a little bit of trial and error for us, but I honestly like it. because I hate painting and I don't want to repaint any boxes.
And Brian Lee had that question. I haven't heard anything about that.
I haven't heard. My only assumption would be no, based upon what Brian was saying earlier with, the part of, these guys, a second year in this spot. But if you think about it, Brian, you would definitely understand this with your business mindset. Logistics is perfect. You have 2 or 3 major interstates that all come in and around that area. You have an airport that is literally less than a quarter mile away.
Like right across the street. Literally, right across the street.
So when you're thinking people flying in and flying out, you're thinking logistics for tractor trailers and, 4,000 people. The place makes sense,
It does.
Now, honestly, I loved Sevierville much better. That area is just beautiful scenery, but I can. And the fact that it's much more further south, so it's less likely to get any inclement weather, right? And it's just beautiful scenery. There's a lot of great places to eat down there, a lot of fun stuff to do. If your spouse goes with you and they don't want to go to the Bee Expo, that place was cool, but there's no way that place can hold 3,500 people and move that.
Logistically, not.
It doesn't make sense for that.
And Steve said 7-ish.
7 o'clock.
Okay.
So that would work.
We didn't really get started to 7 or past 7, actually.
Yeah.
Nothing major happened before 7, did it, Joey?
We were trying to figure out the seating until about 7.
and I had to run back to the hotel and grab all the name tags. So, all in all, I really hope everybody enjoyed themselves.
Back to the wax dipping. I've wax dipped my own for the last 3 years. I've did quite a bit of experiment, and I go 300 for 15 minutes, and they will boil at that temperature for that long. And it's going to vary by the wood that's in your frames, how much moisture's in it too. Some of them is more kiln dried, the wood in the frame boxes, and other types of wood. So it's going to vary, but overall, I go 300 for 15 minutes on everything. And I've got a 4x4 cube square dip tank that I use the heater out of I made my own. I built it myself, and I've got about 250, just the cost of the metal. Actually, I welded it together and so forth. So I've got about $350 in my tank, which I built myself, and it's a 4x4 square, and it'll hold, if you buy good the crystalline wax, it takes me about $700 worth of wax to fill the tank the first time. And that tank, to keep it up to snuff, will do about, it takes about 40 pounds of wax to do about 60 10 frame boxes. That's all I can tell you. That means anything to anybody if you're interested. So, and they will boil over pretty easy if you don't watch it.
Yeah, kind of like frying a turkey. You have to slowly merge it.
Lots of moisture content in that wood. You want it dry. Don't store it anywhere where it'll get wet for sure. JW, you actually welded that tank up yourself?
Yep.
I'm impressed.
I'm impressible.
That's for sure. No. Hey, you showed that to me multiple times. I think that we should have a Sawmill Charlie JW dance off as a fundraiser.
Well, Joey too. He's got the Beetle Smasher dance.
Joey too. I like it. We're gonna set that up.
Ron, I've got expanded metal that I made me a fold over top with expanded metal with weights on it to fold over the top to weight the boxes down. If you understand what I'm saying.
Tom had like pusher bars basically mounted or welded onto our lid, and then we hold it down with a.
We do the Steve Amos method. He says, Brian, cinder block works. Mine's just basically a landscaping brick is what it is. Probably about maybe 10 pounds, probably less, but thereabouts. But yeah, that works.
I used 3/16 inch steel on mine. That's what I used. That's oyster shells.
No, that's a chunk of rosin.
Okay.
The guy I buy some of my boxes from down here in Louisiana.
Yeah.
He
That's
quit
pine
using rosin years ago, and he just gave me a chunk of it.
That's pine rosin, isn't it?
I'm not sure what it is,
It's pretty dark like that.
but he said that rosin didn't give him anything but trouble, so he just quit using it. It'd
I
want
heard
to
of leave debris on the boxes. Pine rosin will.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
what on the boxes? What'd you say?
I heard the pine rosin will leave little specks, dark specks on the boxes when you're wax dipping them. A few people told me that.
I think the temperature, the melting temperature is so different or something like that it just doesn't work well with the paraffin wax and stuff.
So a lot of times they were blending paraffin and paraffin and pine rosin, but some people were substituting microcrystalline, which I think has a similar melting point to the pine rosin. They're heavier and take more heat to get to that melting point. So I guess the idea is the two parts, the paraffin waxes are a lot lighter and don't require as much heat. So I think the blend of the two are what help to penetrate the box and also to kind of seal it.
All of them.
Yeah.
Your straight paraffin, there's different types of crystalline wax.
Yeah.
Man, the straight paraffin will not penetrate the wood. All it'll do is cover the wood. Where you get your penetration for is the amount of crystalline that you got in your mixture.
Okay.
There, you got a question, JW.
Yeah, Steve.
Very much so. I would suggest I don't have one, but if I were making another one, I'd put a catch around the top of it to catch the overflow. And when sooner or later, if you do enough boxes, you're gonna run one over. If you're old and senile and try to multitask, because you'll try to do two things and you'll boil one over. So don't put it on any place on the. I've got mine on concrete, so it's no big deal. I can just take a scraper and scrape the extra up. I use it to put in my bee water, and where I've got bee water scattered around for the bees, I use that excess wax that boils over. I throw it in, it'll float forever. And that wax, the bees will light on it, and they won't drown when they go into the water tank. That's what I use my excess leftover wax. Not leftover excess, it's just boil over wax. That clean up.
How thick of steel did you use, JW?
3/16. 3/16 inch. Just I call it's tank steel. We've got a lot of oil field tanks in our area, and the old tank steel was all 3/16 inch. So that's what I use. And I've got a burner out of an old furnace, Brian, that I used to heat it with. It's a circular 2-foot circuit, 24-inch circular heater. Got 4 rings on it. That's what I use.
Sorry, didn't mean to do that.
Pardon me?
Nothing.
Oh.
It is causes heating.
It is propane heater. It's just a burner out of an old floor furnace is what it is, Brian, but it's a round one, the old style.
How long does it take to get the temperature up to what you want.
Kind of depends on your ambient temperature. We've had it where Tom started heating the wax the night before, and it's still not all the way melted the next day at 6 a.m.
Depends on the BTU burner too.
Yeah.
Yeah, depends on your burner. I can heat my my 4x4 tank, which will be it'll be 6 inches below the top. I can heat mine in about an hour and a half, the whole thing from dead cold. But I've got a big efficient burner.
Mm-hmm.
Either I've got it hooked up to 100-pound propane tank, and if you don't watch it, you'll freeze that tank off if it in the summer. When it's hot in the summertime, it'll draw so much propane out there so fast.
Huh. I know the boy here in Hammond that does them. He used to cook them and sell them. Put the boxes together and dip them and sell them. But now he just if somebody can come up with 50 boxes, he said his minimum is 50 to fire it up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we never could come up with 50 in our little club, so.
I'll dip for 25, Joey. Just bring them on up.
Yeah.
So our tank is, Tom actually found a stainless steel table from a bakery in downtown St. Louis, and he cut it in half with his plasma cutter or whatever. And then a friend of ours is a fabricator, so he fabricated the tank for him, but the tank itself is actually made out of aluminum.
It was cheaper than stainless.
Yeah, it was cheaper than the stainless.
Yeah, Steve says, is that where Jeff took all those boxes up for the same guy you're talking about, Joey?
Yep. He used to. I used to buy my boxes from him. Jeff would take his up there and get them done.
Those people at Dogwood Bees just built one, or Mr. Dwayne Davis just built a wax dipping tank, and he's pretty. He's actually I guess a self-taught mechanical genius in my mind. But he made a dip tank, and it's got it where he can hang those boxes on a kind of like a drag chain that goes through the. It would take a god awful amount of wax to fill that tank. That'd be an ideal situation, and you got it heated underneath the whole line, and it just a continual chain it keeps going around. You just add the boxes, and it takes. He got it timed out where it takes about the same amount of time to go through it. If a guy was going to build one or design one, why? That's what I'd like to have, but I don't have the need or nor the patience to build something like that, or the know-how.
Hey, y'all have a good night. I just wanted to see if this iPad would get on here or not. And
Oh yeah,
I
very
just
much
want to see what it would do. But I've enjoyed listening.
We got a meeting next Monday.
We got a meeting next Monday. That's right.
Okay.
Come on up. You can be my guest speaker.
Oh, I was about to say I'd be there.
I hear you. Well, at least you can talk about the conference. Maybe we can. It'll get us excited about being there next time. We got a big event on January the 1st every year, so it's kind of hard for us to, if it's going to be on January the 2nd, to make it. So
I think it's going to be the second week.
Yeah, that'd be makeable there, but anything right on the first of the new year.
That he used to avoid what week was it? The third weekend. He always avoided it because of the
ABF.
ABL. Yeah. So. All right. Well,
Y'all have a good night.
Appreciate you coming on.
Night, Jeffrey.
See you Saturday.
All
Brian's on there.
I was trying to find a picture of the other guy in South Louisiana that did wax dip boxes. He's got a giant one. I don't know how many boxes he can cook at one time. He can do a bunch. His old cooker is about the size of those they had at the conference. And the one he's got now do about 3 times more than that. He's got a big cage, and he puts them all in there in that big cage, and he's got a horse that picks it up, brings it over, and drops it in. If you ever been to Tony's in Baton Rouge and watch him cook them big pots of crawfish, that's about what it reminded me of.
Real people don't eat those crawdads, do they, Joey?
I'm glad everybody don't eat them, or they would be high.
They just taste whatever you cook them in. If you cook them in cow manure, they taste like cow manure, you know.
Yeah.
You think everything tastes like cow manure?
I've had a lifetime of it in my mouth. It about does.
Just a pinch between the cheek and gum.
Yeah.
He must be hanging out at the business end of that cattle with his mouth open or something, you know.
Well, have you been around livestock any? You know what that white stuff is in chicken shit?
Don't want to know.
How about you, Melissa? Do you know?
Nope.
More chicken shit.
Oh man.
Sorry about that, people. I just had to get that in on her.
JW, you still have cows?
No, I'm out now.
I didn't know if you kept one for a pet.
He has a donkey and a dog.
Oh, I think donkeys are cool.
Donk's right behind him. Hey, Brian, you picked up a bunch of wax dip equipment through Greg this year. Is that right?
That is correct.
Boxes, bottom boards, and telescoping, or what did you get there?
I got deep boxes, deep 8-frame boxes, 12 of them, and I ordered more lids, but they forgot those at home as well, so they're going to bring them to Missouri.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
You are using migratory or telescoping?
They make a really nice migratory lid. It has a shim on it. It's got the plug in the middle, so you can feed it from the top if you want to or not. They're really soft. I think I showed them to you when you guys came and visited. They were on my boxes in my backyard.
I think you did, actually.
Yeah, so I really like those, and I've just been buying like 5 or 10 at a time.
I'm not.
I'm one of those people. I love the wax
So
dip equipment, but I don't want anything to do with a wax dipping tank or boiling over or any of that. I'll pay someone else to do that part. And
It's a process.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
both of you run 8-frame equipment?
I do.
I just started. Well, I had some. I sold it all, and then I acquired a lot more. So I think I put 25 in 8 frames this year.
Yeah, I have a bad back, so lifting heavy equipment's not in my game. And then I actually like having a smaller brood chamber. I do double deep 8 frames. I have a frame feeder in one of my brood chambers at least. So I'm running 15 deep frames is my brood chamber, and then a queen excluder and honey supers above that. So that's my typical setup, but I do still have 10 frame equipment left over or donated, or the kind of stuff that you just can't seem to get rid of. So when you have nowhere else to put bees, they end up in 10 frame equipment usually.
Yeah, we're doing the same thing, Brian, as far as 8-frame equipment, double deep 8-frame. I like that configuration myself. It's slightly less weight to lift up, which is helpful long term.
Yeah.
Here, I found a picture of our dipping tank. Ignore my face in that picture.
She has a sour look on her face. It was probably cold that day.
Can you guys see that?
No.
No? Let's see.
Oh, there it is. Here, add it from here.
Oh,
to the
here it
stage.
is. There we go. There. Now can you see it?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
So you
there's
recessed it right into the table.
Yeah, so that table was twice as big. It had 6 legs under it. The thing would probably hold a VW bus. It was really heavy. And then you can see I just cut it in half. There was a big lip, 1 foot ledge that went around the whole outside. I trimmed that down. And then you can see on the bottom, a buddy of mine made those risers to get it high enough that I needed it. So we just modified the table. That's all we did. It's not pretty, but the thing is very functional. It's got a 2 foot by 2 foot aluminum tank with a big wraparound, I guess, lip on the top for rigidity. He built the lid there. It's got a couple of bars that kind of U-shape down into it to kind of help push the stuff down into the wax, because I leave about a 6 to 8 inch head space from where the wax is at to the top of the tank in case it would minimize any boil over. And then I have a burner that's underneath. I would say that the one thing that I dislike about it is I wish I had some rack that I could push in and out so I wouldn't have to put on some of these real thick gloves to be able to pull the wax or pull the boxes out. And the second thing I would change about it would be I'd put a bigger burner under it. So it would heat much faster. Sounds like JW has got a better setup as far as that goes. But that works. It's efficient. I don't sell that service to anybody. I do it for my own, basically, is what the idea was. And we started to do that for the club as a fundraiser last year. We're going to do it again this year. So
that's actually his salt bin.
Yeah,
That's what I figured.
Where his salt usually is for the winter.
pretty empty then, but it's, well, we made a big dent in it this last week, but it'll hold quite a bit.
What kind of, you added a second burner this year,
Yeah,
didn't you?
so what I did basically to heat it up faster and to minimize some of my time, because what I do is I'd start it up the night before, and that is up at our shop area in the back. I have a camera on the back of the building. You can't see the building there, and I can oversee the whole back side of the parking lot. So what I would do is I'd put it on that pad out away from anything that it could combust. And I would start it up overnight the night before. And I have a thing called, it's a wireless thermometer that I use I don't use the same probe in my meat as I use in that, but for barbecuing, it's a wireless and it uses Wi-Fi. So I can hook it up to the Wi-Fi there, plug it in to put the ambient air or the temperature probe down inside the wax, and I can monitor it all night long from my phone, and I can view it from the camera. So as it's burning and melting down all night, then I usually get started the next morning pretty early if I can help it. So that's how I've been able to utilize it, and it's been pretty effective. It's not perfect, but it works well. We can get a lot done in one day. I think this last year, I think I dipped 200 pieces.
Oh, no, it was insane.
There was a lot of pieces in there. That tank, like I said, it's 2 foot by 2 foot, and I forget how deep it is, but I made it extra deep so I can actually put a small grate in the bottom so I don't get any of the wooden, where when it sits in the bottom, it doesn't burn because it holds off about 3/4 of an inch off the bottom. And then I left enough room to be able to put a deep box up and down, which would be 20 inches plus, and it'd be covered over by probably a few inches of wax, and then 8 inches of headspace. So that's probably 30 inches, I'm guessing, roughly. So that's how it worked out for me. I have a little bit more money in that than what JW does, but I paid a guy to build that tank out of aluminum. So that was the part that was a little bit pricey. But it's effective and it works. So
You do get that off there. I'll see if I can get mine in front of the camera where you can see it. I don't know if you can or not.
you have to turn off your backdrop. It's not showing up at all.
Can't imagine that.
Donk sniffing the back of your head right now.
Really even come up there. Like there's
Yep.
mine without the lid. But that's my tank, and you can see it's hard to see that this is just a big round 4 burner.
I should have paid Derek better now. I should have paid closer attention to the burner you have under there because I'd like to
That
spend.
burner, I can adjust each individual ring. If you see there on the right side of it, will be right.
So you can cut the gas down to certain burners if you need to.
I can run one burner, all 4 burners, or whatever heat I need to control the heat. Yes.
The screen went black.
Yeah, your screen went black.
So
yeah, if I come back,
tank there that I use. Now I'm not doing it commercial either. I just did it for myself and a few friends.
does that thing consume a lot of propane as you got all 4 burners cranking?
Yep, it'll that 100 pound tank. I can if I'm burning them all 4 hard for an extended period of time, I can freeze the tank off.
Yeah, it's consuming a lot of fuel.
Yep. But I can jump her up there to 300 in about an hour and a half. From total cold.
That would be nice. It really would. I wouldn't have to start my burner up the night before. I hate having it going because I won't sleep well tonight because I'm worried about, what could or couldn't happen on there, But
No, we're buying pre-mixed wax. It's a mixture of paraffin and microcrystalline.
Originally, I was using a company called Blended Waxes, and they have their own proprietary mix of those two. Last year, I purchased 2 boxes from Jed Thorne at Nobby, and each box weighs 40 something or 50 pounds.
Yeah, I think it's 40.
So I think it was about 80-ish pounds of the Hive Guard wax, which I believe is manufactured in Canada. And then this year I did the same. I bought 2 boxes because I was almost out of extra wax.
If anybody's interested in wax, I buy all of mine from an outfit called Aztec. It's out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I buy the wax and the crystalline separate, and then the crystalline's in a wax form also. The crystalline wax is, and I mix it together myself because I use the crystalline, and then this what I think this pre-mixed stuff is. Steve gets his from Aztec as well, but that's where I get mine.
All right, Lee.
Steve brings up a good point there. He says beeswax won't work to too low of a dish, and he's not wrong. I've seen the cheaper stuff that was coming out of China that was basically, let's just be honest, it was almost painted on, and that stuff will just
coated, beeswax coated.
Yeah, and that stuff won't. It honestly won't work.
It melts off in the heat of the summer.
Yeah, beeswax melts at too low of a temperature. Steve, I might remember, but I want to say it's like 140 or 145. Help me out here, Steve. What was that? It's fairly low.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be honest, beeswax is way too expensive. When you're looking at per pound,
yeah,
an arm and a leg. I think my tank, in order to get as much wax in as I needed, was somewhere around. I want to say when I calculated it out, was somewhere around 450 pounds in my small tank. So, yeah, let's just say $10 a pound. You might be able to get it for $8 a pound if you're buying it in bulk. That's going to be pretty costly right there. I mean, what does that end up being? $4,000 or something? Say 8 times 450, $3,600 to $4,000. That's way too costly.
I just didn't want to have to figure out a ratio every time we needed to add wax. So
I think ours was roughly the same, Steve, on the 275 a pound. I'd have to go back and calculate out what it was at through the special deal there, which was a little bit off. It wasn't huge, but I want to say it was somewhere around.
I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, he had it all on me, Clay.
you like looking at JW.
I was sitting here looking at the weather.
I mean, it is his birthday in an hour and 6 minutes.
Oh boy.
We're staying on until then so we can sing him happy birthday.
I'm not. I'm going to bed here a little bit.
Me too.
Gonna say goodnight too.
That's right.
I'm going to say goodnight too. I got to get up in the morning.
Yeah, we about to shut her down here anyway.
Yeah. Thank you, Joey. Nice seeing you guys. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, good night, Mike.
Charles,
Good night,
you
Mike.
next time.
JW.
Yeah, we'll
See
see
you,
y'all.
Mike. Stay warm up there, buddy.
Night, Mike.
Good night.
Hey, Steve, are you wax dipping all your own equipment?
See, that's why I don't get involved in this. It starts getting way too complicated for my 2 brain cells.
Yeah, you're selling yourself short, Joey.
Yes.
And then Steve, you said you're using that company Aztec there out of Tennessee. Was that right, JW?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have you guys been happy with that wax? Seem to be.
I'm very happy with it. The only bad thing about it is the shipping's ferocious, you know, and that stuff.
It's heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy, and they ship it truck freight, you know, on freight, and it costs you. Oh, the last bunch I got, I think I got like 600 pounds, and I think the shipping on it was like $250 or something. It was.
Yeah, when we had.
Well, you have to
Our
have
initial
something.
one?
You have to have a piece of machinery to unload it.
Well, you can do liftgate, but they charge you an extra between $45 and $75 if you need liftgate service. They'll liftgate it to you. You know,
I'm
but
not,
it's better.
I'm not in the suburbs of St. Louis, you know. My liftgate charges are out of this world, you know.
Well, that's
what boondocks.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we had it shipped freight to ours too, and I can't remember how much the pallet weighed. I think I got 600 pounds maybe to start initially through blended waxes here in the States. And I had it shipped, and I didn't request liftgate service. We unloaded it with a skid steer, and I went to a commercial, our commercial property. So it's a little bit less even. But if you would have gone to a non-commercial liftgate service or whatever, the costs are even more. So I want to say, JW, I think it was close to $200 shipping to me. And I can't remember where Blended Waxes was at. I thought it was in the
north. It's in the north somewhere.
That was in the Midwest somewhere.
I'll find out.
But yeah, I'm sure where you live at could potentially make it very costly. So it's not cheap for that. That's the reason we pre-ordered and bought it out of Navi, what I thought I would use this year.
Yeah.
Save on the shipping alone.
Yeah, that's Knoxville. What did I say? Chattanooga it is, and they're out of Knoxville. Steve's right on that. But it's I talked to Greg about it. He's doing that, you know, doing those propolis for Premier now. And I asked him about it, what he was using. He's got his own quote unquote proprietary secret formula mixture. So I didn't take it any further than that. But he says he can mix he can dip a wax load or a semi load in a day and a half to 3/4.
Wow.
Of boxes.
So
he gets it from them by the semi loads, I guess. So
that's impressive. How many boxes did he say was on his pallet? He said the other day sometime. Did any of you guys catch that?
No.
So our first wax order was for 416 pounds at $1.98 a pound.
That was more than that.
So they're right here.
Okay.
And then the freight was $163 and the service charge was $30. So almost $200 for shipping.
Yeah.
And then
at $1.98. How about that, Steve? I think we were at like what, $2.70 now?
Well, this was in 2021.
Yeah. Oh, this came out of
the last mine runs over $3 the way I mix it.
Okay.
This was in Wisconsin.
Crystalline's a lot higher than your cheaper waxes.
Yeah. Well, again, this was also 4 years ago too.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get some of those Propola hives. Now that they're going to make some of the 8-frame boxes in the Propola, I just want to get a couple and run them just to see how.
Yeah.
I've kind of gotten to this place in my career where I'm buying products just to have experience with them so I can have an educated opinion about them. Like the Easy Ox tabs. You know, I don't really need those. I have a source for oxalic acid, but I've like might as well support the company and give the product a try, so at least I have a first-hand opinion of that product. You know, maybe I'll end up really liking it and then just want to use it. And then I bought the Viroxan too, just to give that a try. Just again to have that first-hand experience with it. Again, I could make those Swedish shop towels on my own, probably a whole lot cheaper, but I want to support that process of going through and you know getting regulated. And B, I want to be able to talk to other beekeepers when they ask me, what do you think about this product? I want to be able to have a, you know, firsthand experience of what to say about them.
I think that Viroxan, when I calculated it out on one of my hives, was going to cost me about I want to say, for some reason, $450 a treatment stays in my head. I could be off a little bit on that. So when you think about from a oxalic acid standpoint, I mean, that's not a cheap treatment, right? I mean, oxalic acid is cheap, but that treatment alone for that Viroxan per treatment per hive, that's a fairly good cost, you know?
Yes, I agree.
Not
birthday work, Clay.
Brian. So
yeah.
I'm not going to be older for another at least an hour from now, so don't look any worse than what it is.
On the East Coast, it's your birthday.
Oh, it truly is on the East Coast.
Yeah, see?
It truly is.
Well, look at what you started, Clay. Well, thank you, everyone. I hope y'all live to be this old, I guess.
Look like they're starting to drop off here, y'all. We might as well shut this thing
Yeah, I
down.
guess so. It's time for bed.
I'm getting tired too, fellas.
It's almost time to get up.
Yeah.
Hang on just a minute after we close out here. Hang on just a minute. After you shut her down, hang on just a minute.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and tell everybody good night. And James Knoll, Chris, ECP, and Clay Bonner for the super chats. Appreciate that. Appreciate everybody coming in, participating. And we'll see y'all hopefully Saturday if something don't happen. Good night, everybody.
Give her the bill.